Good morning, you guys. I want to give you a review of Growing Up Hip Hop, Season 6, Episode 23. Basically, the title is titled Demon Time, which is very fitting for this episode. Basically, we start off with the guys. And when I say the guys, we say Easy E's son, we Old Dirty Bastard's son, and we also have Reverend Run's son. They're basically the point where they're having a guys meeting, and Old Dirty Bastard's son actually expecting a baby. They basically have a roundtable discussion basically about marriage. They have TT's husband in the group. They're basically giving him the ins and outs of being married. He basically asks the hard questions, whether or not being married is different. And most importantly, is it difficult? Basically, JoJo chimes in and says, no, it's not one of those things where it's going to be easy. It's no, he's not going to tell him that it's going to be, but it is a challenge. Basically, the guys are having a little discussion. They're basically led TT's husbands into the inner circle. They basically meet up again. They were at a actual consignment store for kids. Just like I told you, old dirty bastard son is expecting a baby. All the guys are married. TT's husband is about to get married. So they're to the point they're chopping it up and they're letting him know whatever. And they made a side joke about how many kids he had. He said he got seven, just like his dad did. Basically, they asked JoJo how many kids did his dad had. He had six. So they're to the point they laughed it off or whatever. And JoJo made the statement that, yeah, since you got seven kids, it should be on your credit card. But I think what happened was they were meeting up to actually buy gifts for the baby because his wife is apparently, according to Easy's son, about to give birth. Next scene is we're met with Tiny, who is actually JoJo Haley's wife. She has a actual grievance that she wants to go over with her daughter concerning the fight her and Savannah had. Savannah is actually Stevie J's son. They're basically beefing about something that happened on Twitter. They were supposed to meet up. That did not go well. It's one of those issues where they feel like both of them are right, so nobody's going to come to an even kill. So they decide that Tiny decides to have an intervention with her daughter, and she meets up with Stevie. The daughter does not want to meet up, but she does. They actually were able to iron out a couple things and talk. Stevie lets his son know before they arrive that yes, they are meeting with Tiny, and he lets them also know that he and Tiny are very close. He's been knowing her for a minute. So I think it's one of those things where he's been knowing her in the industry because, as I told you, Tiny is actually JoJo from Jodeci's wife. Basically, she is the mother of Sequoia. She has another son, Devin. They basically meet up. They never came to an agreement about anything because one of the things was Sequoia feel like she right, just like I told y'all. Hence, CB does go and meet up with his daughter. His daughter's actually at another store that actually she's shopping. It's kind of bittersweet because last time I saw Savannah, she actually was having a riff with her dad, and she wanted her dad to basically fund her life. So it's kind of a thing where she's actually growing up and she's able to do things for herself. So she basically wants him to sit and watch her actually try on clothes, and she comes out with the item that actually is a little tight. It's actually cute. The dad said she looked like she was in a Janet Jackson video, which was a shameless plug because tonight Janet Jackson is debuting her documentary. I don't know about you guys, but I will be tuned in. Yes, but it's great to see that she's actually growing up. She's actually handling her own business, and most importantly, she's not asking dad for money. So that's a good thing. They still did not out anything because he basically wanted to come and ask her to see whether or not she would not only meet with Sequoia, but they would come to an agreement. According to Savannah, she said she doesn't start the fight, but she will end it. So basically, the dad gets to the same point that he knew he would come to, and that's nothing. So she basically is not going to admit her wrongs, and she's not going to say she did anything wrong. But I actually saw the clip of the fight scenes. So yes, she did put her hands on Sequoia, but Sequoia retaliated because Sequoia told her don't speak on her kid. But I think it's one of those Twitter rants that went left, and most importantly, that two of the things where their two egos are interjecting, they just want to hash it out. I think it's one of those things where not JoJo, Steve wants to save face because he is friends with her mom, which is Tiny. But it's one of those things where when the kids get into it, sometimes you cannot make them come to an agreement because in their minds, like I said previously, they both think they're right. So there's no need to try to have a common ground. But maybe one day they will sit down because it's like I said before, Sequoia did make amends with Uncle Luke's daughter. So maybe she will be open to maybe one day speaking to her. But I think it's one of those things where their egos are getting into it and they don't want to, admit their wrongs. But yeah, it was nice to see all everybody actually back because Easy E's son was in this previously, and I wonder what had happened to him. So he is back. JoJo never left. Put it on the table. So they was to the point they were able to have a guys meeting because it wasn't to the point they didn't have no guys on there, but I just didn't see them on there like that. I think the only guy at first when I seen it was just TT's husband, and that was it. And we see JoJo every now and then. And we also see Pepper's son, he's in there all the time. But he's to the point he's trying to make amends with his cousin, which is TT, with his mom, which is Pepper. They had a scene where they actually had a brawl. They actually got into not a fist fight, but a physical fight about who was right and who was wrong. I think it's one of those things where Pepper wants her to not only respect her, but she wants her to know that yes, whatever I say is no need for you to get feisty about it. But they did have a little scene. They had that little thing. They hashed it out. TT's to the point where she doesn't want to admit that she misses her aunt because he asked her. He said, "If you were to the point you get have the wedding, would you miss your aunt?" She was like, "Well, it's not a point whether or not my son would even miss his aunt because at the end of the day, he has several other aunts." And I was saying to myself, that says a lot about her character because it doesn't matter how many aunts you have or family members. If you're to the point you fell out with one family member, you should be trying to make amends, especially with it concern that you're about to get married. So that's a big issue. But her thing was she said she wasn't going to reach out. Her number did not change. And he was like, "Will you be okay with getting married knowing this?" She was like, "Yeah." So it's one of those things where at first it started out her and Egypt were going at it, which is Pepper's daughter. Now it's her and Pepper. So I'm saying it's a matter of the family just wanted to bicker back and forth. She did do one thing that I think lets you know she was trying to extend the olive branch. She was gonna get married in Jamaica, but now she decided she was gonna get married in Florida. So I'm thinking she wanted to see whether or not and see who was gonna actually show up. Because they said that Pepper said that her mom did not want to fly. But we hopefully we'll see when they do have the wedding. We'll see whether or not Pepper shows up. I don't know, but I think it's one of the things her and Egypt still are at odds. And I don't think they even made up. So I didn't even know her and Pepper were at odds. So that should they flash back to that scene. But it is what it is with them. They always on a rift when it concerns that wedding. At first, it was the fact that she didn't want Egypt to marry her particular guy. Now to the point it's her turn. People are coming at her full force, and she realizing how it feels because TT was very adamant about Egypt not getting engaged to the guy she's with. So now that she's to the point she's past the engagement stage, she's having issues when it comes to her actual marriage process, if that makes sense. But hopefully these guys will be able to come together and most importantly, get together. Pepper also lets us know that she is touring because she asked her son would he want to come back on stage and that somebody put up a pic of him when he was small and she was holding him in her arms. And I thought that was a really, really cute reference to it because if you're not familiar, a lot of people should know who Salt and Peppers is. If you're 1990s, then I don't know what you're doing. Everybody knows about Salt and Pepper. They were a staple back in the day, and they still are. But it's kind of nice to see that they're still touring. So she said they will be on there with New Kids on the Block, In Vogue, some more other people. So there's a lot of heavy hitters on there. So it's going to be a big thing. But yeah, you guys, it's one of those things where it is what it is, and most importantly, I like this episode. I mean, even though they did have a little conflict, we didn't see a lot of fist fighting, so it's one of those things where they just everybody hashed out what they had to say, and it is what it is. And as usual, Brianna is the moderator. She moderates within the actual episode. So we're gonna see if everybody's to the point where they actually come make amends or what. We don't know. And also I like the scene where they were in the studio where Lazy Bone was actually coming in and he was actually asked by Sequoia to listen to some of her music. And she had a record called LA Girl, and he basically said he liked it because it's basically a actual twist on the LA vibe, and he liked it. But he told her she needs to put Easy Son on the track, and it would be perfect. But it was glad to know that she actually had somebody from back in the day to actually give her some feedback. Now I was waiting to see whether or not she would bring her dad in there, but it's good to know that his talents go through the family, and also her brother actually is an artist as well. But he had already did his actual track, but they was doing her track, and that's when Lazy Bone walked in. He basically was letting Eazy son know that he paid homage to the fact that his dad did pay the way, and most importantly, him and his dad were close. So he told him if he needed anything, he always be there for him, which I thought was a really good and sweet and bitter moment. Also, Easy's son told us about how when his dad died, they actually had to argue over royalties. He said now they're actually doing a documentary, him and his sister. And he's to the point where they're trying to wrap that up, and they basically said that's good. We're gonna congratulate you on that. But he said it's not really a documentary. It's basically they trying to figure out what happened to him as far as his death, because he think it was a conspiracy, which I thought was really really interesting to hear him say that, because a lot of people have been speculating and saying stuff like that about that, but I didn't know if it was true. So I think it's one of those things where his son basically want to know what happened. So I'm not gonna speculate and say what people say happened out of respect for Easy. But yeah, it's good to know that his son is here and he's creating a legacy, and most importantly, he's doing it positively, because he doesn't even create any kind of negative vibes or nothing when he's on the show. It's nothing but positivity. And we saw him last time. The last time I saw him, he got married. So to see him back, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, now the guys are together and they're full circle. So I don't know if the guys are going to attend the wedding. I don't know if that's why they brought him back. I don't know. We'll see. Lil Twist did an actual cameo. He's basically was chopping up with the guys, but he don't be in there all the time like he used to. I don't know if they can interject him in there or what. I don't know. But like I told you on the last review, he had a little illegal issue, so I'm not saying that they had anything to do with it. I don't know. But yeah, you guys, like I told you, this episode is called Demon Time, and everybody's to the point where they are just what it says. But I hope that everybody hash out their differences, and most important, they will come together and chop it up for the better good. And when I say the better good, that means that they will squash what they got going on and move forward. If anything, they should use Sequoia and and Uncle Luke's daughter as an example. If they were to the point they hated each other, but they decided they were gonna come together. So it is what it is, and we're gonna see what it is, and most importantly, it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this review as much as I enjoyed giving you the review. I will keep giving you guys updates on growing up hip hop. It seems like you guys to the point where you actually like these reviews, and most importantly, you like when I actually do reviews. So I'm gonna keep them coming. I will be continuing to do the reactions, but I will be doing the reviews. Now tonight I will be watching Janet Jackson. I don't know if I'll be doing a review on that. I don't know, because for one thing, it is a two-part series. It starts tonight, but it will be continuing on tomorrow night. Now, also let you guys heads up, people that like Ready to Love, they have a new season tonight, so I will be tuning into that. Now, more than likely, I probably will be giving you guys a review on that, because that's what I do. I give you reviews on Ready to Love. So I appreciate you guys for actually tuning in. Hope you guys are having a good Friday so far. Hope your weekend is great. And if anything, I will do one thing, and that's always I will come back with another one. See you guys. Bye bye.